Good morning, everyone. Welcome to VUS Tesol Webinars 2020. My name is Quốc and I'll be your host today. Before we start, can I check if all of you can hear me well? If yes, please type yes or okay in the chat box. Thank you. So we're all good to start. Okay, this free webinar series is held by VUS with the participation of ELT experts and invited speakers from well-known publishing houses such as Oxford University Press, Macmillan Education, Cambridge Assessment English, and National Geographic Learning. We hope to bring you the most updated and practical teaching methods and techniques so that you can teach your class more effectively. So thank you for joining us in today's webinar, The Magic of Using Stories in Young Learners Classroom, presented by Ms. Kitty Young from National Geographic Learning. Before we start, please be informed that we will have the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. Also, during that time, I'll send you the links for you to complete a survey about this webinar and to download your certificate of participation. And now let me introduce to you Ms. Kitty Young. Now over to you, Kitty.
Okay, can everybody hear me clearly now? Yes, great. All right. Okay, welcome to VUS Tesol Webinars 2020. And thank you, Walk, for the introduction. And thank you all for joining this session. So the topic of this session is the magic of using stories in young learners' classroom. All right, okay. So in this session, we're going to talk about teaching stories to young learners. And all the stories I'm going to use in this session are from the reading anthologies of National Geographic Learning's primary program, Look and See, and also primary program, Look. In today's session, we're going to cover two key questions. First, what are the benefits of teaching stories to young learners? And second, what are the techniques we can use when teaching stories to young learners? All right, so now let's go into the first question. What are the benefits of teaching stories to young learners? I believe we all teach stories, right? Either tell stories to our own kids or use stories in our English classroom teaching. And I think we all agree stories are super, fantastic, are great. So based on your understanding and also your experience, can you type in the chat box? Okay, so why you think stories are so fantastic? What benefits stories bring to our young learners? If you have any idea, can you just type in the chat box? It's interest, okay, in learning. Stories make the lessons more memorable. Very good. So engagement, yeah, it has beautiful characters. Enhanced learning. Students can take in language easier. They learn vocabulary in context. Okay, yeah, motivate students. Okay, lovely, creative. Okay, more lively, great. Okay, I think I agree with all of you and all of your opinions. So I want to highlight some benefit here and also give you some very quick examples from different stories from the reading anthologies of those two programs. Okay, Look and See and Look. So here are some benefits I highlight there. I'll talk about them one by one. Okay, so first the benefit, okay? Stories use a holistic approach to language teaching, and stories support natural acquisition of language. What does that mean? It means when children read stories, they acquire sounds, words, and concepts in English from the stories. So they don't learn these aspects in isolation. They don't learn sound by sound, word by word, or sentence by sentence. They acquire all these aspects in story context. So here is an example. Okay, the story is Drive Along Animal Song. All right. So teachers, when we teach stories, we should always like model, okay, to our students, and also encourage them to like read in rhythm, read in chunks, and read the rhymes out. So now can you just read together with me? Okay, drive, drive, drive along. Come on, now let's sing a song. Off we go, you and me. Sing along, lots to see. So as you can see here, it has the rhythm there, right? Drive, drive, drive along. Come on now, let's sing a song. And also you may notice the chunks of language. Okay, come on, drive along, sing a song. You may also notice the rhyme. Okay, drive along, let's sing a song. Okay, you and me, lots to see. All right. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so what's your name? Say hello. Come on, horse, time to go. So of course, okay, stories, as some teachers mentioned, normally stories also review or recycle language students have learned in their main course. So for example, here, what's your name? Okay, hello. But at the same time, as we say, we don't really teach them word by word. It's not like a what's your name, hello, okay? So we teach them in a natural way, okay? So they gain, they feel the power of rhythm of English and learn the sounds and also the chunks of language in a natural way. All right, so children also understand concepts in stories. So for example, in this story, it's lunchtime. So it's lunchtime and mom is cooking. So the girl sees what mom is preparing and asks, is it chicken for lunch? I don't like chicken. So from the story, from the picture, from the girl's facial expression, and even from our students' own experience, right? Almost all children don't like this kind of food or that kind of food. And they can understand the concept don't like here, okay? But then a mom says, no, they're dinosaurs. So she makes the chicken into dinosaur shapes. And then the girl is happy now and says, oh, I like dinosaurs. So again, it's out of the story context. Story, well, children understand the concept of these two emotions, okay? Don't like and like. All right. So the second benefit I want to mention, stories are meaningful inputs. When we say meaningful inputs, we may also refer it as comprehensible input or I+1. So what does I+1 means? It means if this is this is a student's current level, okay? Their present language competence. And every time when we teach our children, we teach them something just a little bit more challenging, So this means I plus 1. And now this is students' current level. And we teach them something a little bit more challenging each time. So we can't teach them directly that high, okay? So it means the language giving to children should be just above the level of their present language competence. And stories naturally help children get engaged and also motivate them, excuse me. So stories also motivate our children to find new words, new structures, and also make meaning out of the input. So let's see one example here. So this story, The Girl and the Elephant. And on this page, you can see, okay, so it says there are a lot of animals in the world. Some animals are wild, like pandas or elephants. Some animals are pets, like dogs or rabbits. So wild is probably an unfamiliar word to our children, but they can make the meaning out of the input. Okay, so pandas and elephants are wild animals. They are not like pets. They are not like dogs or rabbits that you can take care of at home. Okay, and then if we keep reading, we can't make wild animals our pets, but this is a very unusual story about a little girl and her special elephant friend. So now, unusual. We can't make wild animals our pets, but this is unusual. This is different. This is special. And so with the language they know, they get the meaning of these two words that they are unfamiliar with. Okay, here is another example. It is a real story about a bird and a family. And in this paragraph, so it says, Mom gets hurt. And also you can see actually on top of the page, hurt is one of the target words we want our students to learn. Okay, so that means they probably don't know the meaning of the word, but if they keep reading, they can try to figure out the meaning. Okay, so it says she can't walk. And then one day, one of the boys find a baby magpie. It's hurt too. Okay, so the boy brings it home and they name the bird Penguin, and then it gets better and soon she can fly. So that's how a story can provide meaningful inputs to help students understand new words. Okay, so the third benefits I want to share with you, stories help shape children's view of the world. No matter where the children are, reading stories show them far-flung corners of the world, take them to interesting places, meet extraordinary people, see the amazing nature, go to eye-opening situations to expand and enrich their world. So here is a story, What's on the Beach? Okay, it's a nonfiction. And on this page it says, are there shells on this beach? Yes, there are shells. And look, there is a crab in this shell. Okay, and what's in the sand? This baby turtle is in the sand. It's crawling to the water. So researchers have found that our brain activity that occurs when we read stories is very similar to experiencing the situation in real life. So which means even if our children have never been to a beach, by reading this story, they have the very similar experience. It's like they are standing on the beach and they see a crab in a shell and they see a baby turtle crawling to the ocean. Okay, so for example, in this story, again, the girl and the elephant story. So on this page, it says, In central Vietnam, the Minong people, you probably can tell me whether it's true or not, okay? They train wild elephants to work with them. And also they spend a lot of time together. They trust each other. Actually, when I was preparing for this session, my daughter Caitlin, she is 6 years old. She saw all the slides I have and asked me, Mom, why are they riding elephants? So I just read this story to her. And then when I read here, she said, Mommy, I know it's like in some places, people and camels trust each other. Well, she's never really been to a place where she see people riding camels or elephants. But from what she said, you can see that she understands the situation and she connects what's going on here in this story to what she had learned before somewhere else, right? Okay, so the fourth benefit, stories help children develop critical thinking, okay? And also making judgment about things and actions of people, ideas, and so on. We say that reading is both bottom up and top down thinking process. Bottom up means you read and you build up meaning by looking at those words and sentence and also chunks of language. So you build up meaning by understanding those small things. But top down means when you read, you also use your own experience, your own knowledge to make guesses, make assumptions, to predict, to compare what you're reading to your own knowledge, and you have your own opinions, you make conclusions, etc., etc. And all these are different critical thinking skills, but they just happen naturally when we read stories. So, for example, in this story, click, click, okay? The girl is using daddy's camera to take pictures of different things at home. And the boy looks at the picture when it's coming out of the camera. So it's an old style camera, okay? And guess what it is. So here the boy says, is it a car? And the girl says, no, it isn't. Then, okay, if children read this page here, they probably begin to predict, to guess, okay? So what else have this kind of a two big eyes and a triangle nose? And then if they keep reading, they can just find out whether their guess is correct or not. So the next page, okay? And the boy says, I know, it's my robot. And the girl says, yes, it is. Great job, Juan. Okay. And here is another example in this story, I want a pet. So the boy here, okay, and his little sister, they go visit their grandpa and grandma on the farm. And the little sister wants a pet, okay? So my sister wants a pet. So what does she want? Does she want a cat? Does she want a goat? Or does she want a dog? Let's find out, okay? A cow. She wants a pet cow. And now children may have lots of questions in their minds when they're reading here. Oh, it's funny, she wants a cow as a pet. Wait a minute, can she have a cow as a pet? How can she take a cow back home, etc., etc.? So what do you think? Do you think she can have a cow as her pet? Why or why not? Okay, so here I want to emphasize that when children are reading good stories of their level, this kind of critical thinking skill questions just come to their brain naturally. Okay. All right. So the fifth benefit, okay, stories can reach the subconscious and change children's behavior patterns. some teachers also mention, okay, at the beginning when I ask the question, kind of values. Okay, so you can easily find stories to young learners that integrate values. Okay, so for example, the boy, everybody knows the story, the boy who cries wolf. What is the value there? We want our children to learn to tell truth, okay, not tell lies, because otherwise people won't believe you. Okay, scientists also have found that children who have stories read to them regularly find it easier to understand other people. So they show more empathy and also have better developed the ability to understand that other people have different thoughts and different feelings to us. Okay, so I will read the story to you, okay, with these pictures. Again, this is the real story, the true story about the Blooms, mom, dad, 3 boys, and a bird. In 2013, mom get hurt. She can't walk. One day, one of the boys finds a baby magpie. It's hurt too. The boy brings it home. The bird is black and white, so they call her Penguin. The Blooms help Penguin get better. Soon she can fly. Penguin helps the Blooms too. In the morning, she flies into the bedroom and the boys get up. She sits with mom in the afternoon. At 3, Penguin goes to the garden and waits. The boys come home from school. Now they can play. With Penguin, the Blooms are happy again. One day, Penguin flies away. The Blooms love Penguin, but they aren't sad. Now she's with other birds. So this is a real story, okay? You can find the book if you really want to read more about the story. You can also watch the movie very soon. So what value is shown in the story? So this is the whole story here I just read to you. So out of the story, what do you think the value hope? Okay, students can learn from it. Okay, anything else you think? So actually, if you look at this page, encouragement, okay. All right, if you look at the page, you probably can find here, we say, okay, help others, okay? And also we want our children to understand, yeah, letting loved ones go and explore the world for themselves. That's probably what parents can learn, right? In the end, yeah, we need to let our children go to explore the world. And also, yeah, they save Penguin, they help Penguin, but then in the end, Penguin flies away, but they are not sad. We also want our children to understand helping others make us feel happy. Okay, great. So the last one I want to share, the last benefit I want to share with you about teaching stories to young learners is reading stories can help children become storytellers themselves. So nowadays we are emphasizing more and more on the importance of storytelling skills. It is the ability to understand and communicate, to connect a message to your own life and deliver it in a positive and motivational manner. So the more children read, the better they can tell their own stories to other people, both in speaking and in writing. So I want to share one piece of writing from my daughter, Caitlin. Okay, as I mentioned, she is 6 years old now. And this one is on December 25th, 2019, last Christmas. So we went back to my hometown in the northeastern part of China, okay? And that was the first time for Caitlin to see snowing and also play in the snow. So you can see weather, snowy, feeling happy. Okay, so today my mommy built a little snowman. I didn't really build it, I just made it, okay? And it survived in the fridge. And then you can see a picture on the right, okay, of the snowman. I have to say it does look like the snowman I made, but it was very small actually. So she took it back home and put it in the freezer, okay? And then she kept checking whether the snowman is still okay or not. But what makes me feel really amazed is this sentence, okay? It survived in the fridge. If you think about the usage of this word, survive, okay? Or like if we teach this word in a textbook, probably it's always about survive an accident or survive a tough situation, etc. So a snowman survived in the fridge is probably what you can only expect in a story, right? So these are the 6 benefits of teaching stories to young learners I want to highlight and share with you. All right, so now let's look at the second question. Just give me a sec. All right, so what are some techniques we can use when we teach stories to young learners? First, I want to share with you the state of children's reading development. Okay, so as you can see from left to right, okay, there are 4 stages: modeled reading, shared reading, guided reading, and independent reading. Okay, and also you can see that teacher support is getting less and less, and student independence is getting more and more along the development. So these are the 4 stages. We will go through each stage very quickly. Okay, so modeled reading. Basically speaking, it means I read, you watch. So the teacher reads, students watch, and the teacher models how to read, okay, how to enjoy the pictures, how to enjoy the words in the story, how to think when you flip over the pages, and how you can read in fluency instead of word by word, etc. Second stage, shared reading. I read, you help. Okay, the teacher reads and students help. So students help the teacher in the reading process and they're more involved in the stories. One key difference between modeled reading and shared reading is in modeled reading, it's more one way. Okay, the teacher reads aloud, the teacher talks, and the students watch the teacher and copy the teacher. But in shared reading, students will talk more, respond more, and contribute more in telling the story. Okay, the third stage, guided reading. You read, I help. So now students take more responsibilities in reading, and the teacher provides support at this stage. So give them more reading strategies and skills, and students use these strategies and skills to read, think, and discuss. Okay, and the last stage, independent reading. Okay, so you read, I watch. This is the ultimate goal we want our students to become. Okay, we want them to be independent readers, and they love reading, and also they will have the habit to read. All right, so young learners, obviously, they're still at the beginning stages, okay? The first 2 stages, modeled reading and shared reading stages. So teachers should do lots of modeling, okay? And then try to involve students as much as possible in stories. So now we're going to read 2 stories, okay? One more modeled reading and one more shared reading. All right. So let's see. Okay, this one. Look, what is it? A horse. Look at the picture. Look at this horse. What color is it? It's black and white. Is it beautiful? I think so. I like the horse's eyes. Look at its eye here. It's very beautiful. So now, can you read after me? Okay. I have a long nose. I have a long tail too. I can run and jump. Look what I can do. All right. Wow. And look at this horse. What is it doing? Is it dancing? It looks so funny. I think it's doing a crazy funny dance. Now, can you do clap, tap, tap with me? Clap, tap, tap. Okay. Are you ready? Clap, tap, and read after me. Horse, horse, horse. Horse, horse, horse. Turn around and around. Turn around and around. Do the animal dance. Do the animal dance and make a big sound. Make a big sound. Very good. Okay, so what a big sound does a horse make? Neigh, great. All right, so what's this? A rabbit. Look at its ears. It has very long ears, okay? And does a rabbit also have a long tail? No. So now read after me. I have long ears. I have a short tail too. I can jump, jump, jump. Look what I can do. Oh, and look at these rabbits. How many are there? 2 rabbits. Okay. Oh, they're so cute. And look at this one. It jumps so high. Okay. Now, can you still do clap, tap, and read after me? Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. Jump up, jump down. Jump up, jump down. Do the animal dance and make a small sound. Okay, what a small sound does a rabbit make? Yes, squeak. Okay. So now, what's this? A bear. And where is it? It's in the tree. Read after me. I have short hair. I have brown eyes too. I can crawl and climb. Look what I can do. Okay, now how many bears can you see? 3. 3 baby bears, 3 cubs. So they also climb up into the tree. So now clap, tap, and read after me. Bear, bear, bear. Climb up and down. Do the animal dance and make a scary sound. Okay, what a scary sound does a bear make? Rah, great. And now, wow, look, an owl. Look at its big orange eyes. It has wings too. So what can it do? Fly. Now read after me. I have 2 big eyes and big wings too. I can fly, fly, fly. Look what I can do. And now clap, 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 and read after me. Ow, ow, ow. Fly all around. Do the animal dance and make a hooting sound. Can you make a hooting sound like an owl? Hoot, hoot. Great. Okay, so now if you think back about this story, okay, it's pretty one way, okay? So it's the teachers talking, the teachers reading aloud to students, and students watch and try to follow or copy the teacher. So if you think back about this story, can you type in the chat box? So what I modeled when I read aloud this story? If you look at this, do I model any passion for words or the ideas? The rhythm, okay, yeah. So this is about fluency, yeah, the rhythm, because I do clap, tap, so it's easy for my students to follow. Yeah, the animal sounds, okay, and make a big sound. So what a big sound does a horse make? Make a scary sound. What a scary sound does a bear make? Pronunciation, okay, rhythm, tone. Okay, love for animals, right? So the passion of the content of stories, right? Look at this. What is it? It's a horse. Oh, it's beautiful. I like a horse's eyes. They're really beautiful. Okay, and look at the three baby bears. They're so cute, etc. Gestures. Okay, and also these are the things on the screen. You can see what we need to model when we do modeled reading to our students. And also this one, like exposure students to rich language. So when we read stories, we also kind of introduce lots of new language. It's not necessary for our students to learn them, but it's very important for teachers to expose those language to our students. Like, oh, look at the three baby bears, three cubs. You don't really want your students to remember or to repeat, but you use this opportunity to introduce some new language to our students. Great. All right, so now we're going to do a shared reading example, okay? We will read another story, and I will kind of demonstrate some shared reading techniques. As we mentioned, one key difference from modeled reading to shared reading is teacher needs to support talk from students by inviting them, okay, to respond and to predict. Okay, let's start. So this story is toot toot. All right. So toot toot, what makes a toot toot sound? Do you have any idea? A train, great. Okay, so elephant, toot toot, really? Yeah, choo choo, it's also the another sound, okay, a train can make. Can you make any other sounds like we, in that song, the horn on the bus goes, what that sound? Beep, 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 okay. So what sound can a bicycle make? There is a ring there. Okay, yeah, ring, ring, or ding-a-ling. What about a motorcycle? Vroom, vroom, bring, bring. Great, lovely. Okay, so now let's see in this story. Okay, so look, this is the story. If you look at this page, can you now tell me what makes the toot toot sound here? Yes, a train. Very good. Okay, and what else can you see in this picture? What else can you see here? A purple train. You notice the color. Great. A lampshade, a doll, a girl. Very good. A boy, bedroom, time for bed. Okay, curtain. Great. Okay, where are they? Yes, in the bedroom. Okay, so what time is it? I think someone mentioned it's bedtime. Okay, so yeah, it's late. Is it morning? No, it's bedtime. It's probably nighttime. Okay, can you see a window? Look outside the window. Is it dark? Yes. All right. So the boy and the girl are in bed. Okay, it's bedtime, and Look at the girl. What's the girl holding? I think you already noticed that. A doll. Very good. And the girl says, good night, doll. And look at the boy. What is the boy looking at? Ah, the boy is looking at the train, right? And the boy says, good night, train. All right. And now look at the boy. What is the boy doing? The lamp. Yeah, what's the boy doing? Turn off the light. Very good. Okay. Because the girl says, turn off the light, please. So the boy turns off the light. Okay. So now it's sleeping time. Is everybody sleeping? No, the girl and the boy are sleeping. But look, door and train, they are not sleeping. Okay, so is door still in bed with the girl? Where is door now? Yes, door is on the train. Okay, and door says, where are ball, puppet, and teddy bear? They can't see ball, puppet, and teddy bear in the bedroom. So train says, let's go. Okay, what do you think they're going to do? Yeah, they go to look for ball, puppet, and teddy bear. Great. Okay, so train goes out of the bedroom. When train goes, train says, taka, 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 toot, toot. That's loud. So door says, shh. And then door sees something. And she says, what's this? Light, please. Okay, what's this? Can you guess? Bear. Okay, remember they go look for ball, puppet, and teddy bear. Okay, lots of you think it's teddy bear. Okay, anyway, door says, light, please. So train turns its light on. And then a door asks, what color is it? And train says, taka taka, it's yellow. You are right. It's teddy bear, okay? And look at teddy bear. Is teddy bear happy? Yes, teddy bear is so happy to see his friends. So when train says it's yellow, and teddy bear says, teddy bear, hello. All right, where do you think they find teddy bear? It's not in the bedroom, right? Where do you think they find teddy bear? What can you see here? Sofa, lamp, okay. Oh, living room. Lots of you say it's in the living room. I think so. They find teddy bear in the living room. So now, look, where is teddy bear? Great. Teddy bear is also on the train now, right? So train goes again. When train goes, train says, do you still remember? Okay, taka, 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 toot, toot. Okay, too loud. So door says, shh. Then she sees something else. And she says, what's this? Light, please. Okay, what do you think it is? They find teddy bear. Owl. It looks like an owl, right? Okay, so train turns its light on and door asks, what color is it? And train says, taka taka, it's red. It is an owl, okay? It's a puppet owl, okay? And look at puppet. Is puppet happy? Puppet's so happy to see his friends. So puppet jumps up and says, puppet, hello. Too loud. Shh. All right, where do you think they find puppet? They also find puppet in the living room? Oh, you notice in the kitchen on a chair. Yeah, you see a table, a jar of water on the chair. Yes, in the kitchen. Very good. So now, where is it? Also on the train now. Very good. Puppet is also on the train. So train goes again. And when train goes, train says, toot, toot, too loud. So door says, shh. Then she sees something else and she says, what's this? Lights, please. What is it? Oh, now you know. Oh, very good. So train turns its light on and door asks, what color is it? And train says, it's orange. You are right, it's ball. Oh, someone already noticed it's in the bathroom also. Okay, so boy is so happy to see his friends. He bounces up and says, ball, hello. Too loud. Shh. I think you're right. Okay, they find the ball in, look at here, you can see a sink, a mirror. This is part of the top, a mat. Yes, they find ball in the bathroom. Very good. So now where are all the toys? They are all back in the bedroom. Okay, and what time is it now? Is it still nighttime? Is it still bedtime? In the morning, because you can see sunlight in the room. Where is door now? Yes, back in the bed with the girl. Okay, and where's puppet? Back here, the puppet show house. Okay, and train, Teddy, and ball are on the floor carpet. Okay, and everybody says, thank you, Train. And Train feels so proud of himself and he says, toot toot. That's really loud. And now the girl and the boy wake up. They sit up. What do they see? Oh, the boy says, look, all the toys are here. Girl can't believe it. What? And the boy says, it's puppet, teddy bear, and ball. Now they come out of bed and pick up the toys, okay? And the girl says, hello, toys. And the train says happily, toot, toot. Okay, so what about you? Do you tidy up your toys after you play with them? Or do you just put them all around, everywhere? What should we do? Okay, you will let Train go to pick all the toys up because Train is the hero in this story. Okay, all right. So now if you think back, okay, about this story. So I try to make my students to get involved more, okay? So can you type in the chat box how I read this story and what I did to engage my students in the story. Ask the questions, very good. Lots of you notice this, right? Ask a question, sometimes I use different voices, yeah. Engage them to make the sound, elicit answers, right? Use different emotions, okay? Wow, yeah, boy is happy, yeah. Lots of enthusiasm. Keep the plot as a secret to make them guess, right? Make prediction, yeah. Acting, sounds, voices, etc. Great, okay. So as we mentioned, right, one big difference from modeled reading to shared reading is about how you can support students' talk by inviting them to respond and to predict. Okay, so Let's see. Okay. All right. So some technique. Okay. In order to prepare modeled reading or shared reading, because either for modeled reading or for shared reading, we always want our students to get interested. Okay. Even for modeled reading where they don't really talk that much, you still want them to keep them motivated, keep them interested, keep them focused, okay, on what you're telling them. So we want them to get interested, we want them to get involved, and of course you want to make them be part of the storytelling. So there are some techniques that can help us as teachers and the storytellers to be better prepared. Okay, first, study the story. Well, sometimes you may feel, okay, the story itself is so simple, I don't really need to study it. Okay, so there are just a few sentences there. Why should I, okay, study the story? So when you study the story, it's not only about what's in the text, what's on the page, it's also about everything, especially the pictures, okay? Because we say children read pictures, okay? We as adults, we read text, but children, their attention is more on the pictures there. So when we study the story, teachers need to get familiar with the story, and you also need to find the storyline, okay? So how you can connect all the pages together in a smooth way. How can you move from one page to the other, okay? And also when you study stories, you may think about, oh, are there different voices or sound that I can use, okay, to make the story more engaging and make my students be part of it. Like, so when I'm do the door, I always use a soft voice, like, what is it? Light, please. Like, what color is it? And then when I do train, because train is the hero, okay? Train says, let's go. Chaka, 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 toot, toot. It's like a hero voice, okay? And the sound, for example, yeah, when Teddy Bear sees his friends, he's happy and says, Teddy Bear, hello. And when Bo sees his friends, because Bo bounces and Bo says, hello, Bo, like that, okay? You can feel the bouncing sound there, okay? And then also props. So you can also think about whether you can use some realia, some other tools to make the story more engaging. I didn't use anything here for this session because I want you to focus more on the screen, on the pictures. But of course, like, because we have a puppet, right, in the story. So if you have a puppet and if you can use the puppet, you will definitely help your students understand more and also feel more interested. And then also gestures and facial expressions, right? So there are lots of gestures and facial expressions I use in this story to help my students understand and feel more interested. And then repetition. I think this is especially important if you want your students to repeat something, okay? Especially some keywords or key sentence patterns. You want them to say, you want them to follow. Like every time when they find a toy and the toy says, teddy bear, hello, or puppet, hello, I always say, too loud. And then because I repeat that again and again, then my students will understand. Every time when they hear too loud, they will say, shh, okay? And also every time when I say, okay, so train goes again. When train goes, train says, then I pause there, okay? And wait for my students to follow, to respond. So train says, okay, they will say together with the teacher, chugga, 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 two, two, like that. Okay. And the last one is also the most important, and it's also what lots of you mentioned in the chat box, okay? Audience participation. And the most effective way is to ask questions, okay? And encourage your students to think, to guess, to respond, okay? But you don't ask questions randomly, okay? You actually, basically speaking, this is also in what you need to do when you study the story. You design those questions, you prepare those questions. So for example, if you look at this, there are so many questions you can ask, okay? Where are they? What can you see? Where is door? What color is the train? What time is it? Etc. But you need to think about, okay, what questions do I really need to ask so that I can get some response from my student? And also design the order of these questions. What do you ask first? What do you ask next? What do you ask last? Okay, so here is like, what can you see in the picture? Where are they? What time is it? Okay, and then you say, oh, what is the girl holding a door? What does the girl say to the door? Okay, then you keep the story move on. And also there are also lots of questions you design. They may not be relevant to the text in the story at all. So for example, every time when they find a toy, I always add this question. Now, where is Puppet, for example? Okay, and then say it's nothing to do with the text, okay, but it helps with the story to move on naturally. So yeah, you say, okay, Puppet is also on the train. Okay, so the train goes again. When train goes, train says, then it moves on to chugga chugga, okay? Moves to help the story move on naturally. Okay, so I think it's almost time. Let's wrap up. So in this session, we covered two key questions, okay? What are the benefits of teaching stories to young learners? Okay, stories support natural acquisition of language. Stories are meaningful input. Stories help our children make meaning out of the input, okay? And stories shape our children's view of the world, help them understand other cultures, other people. Stories help children develop their critical thinking skills. Stories make children into nicer people, okay? Have this kind of positive effect on children's social behaviors. And stories help children become future storytellers. And then the second part, some techniques we can use when we teach stories to young learners. So when we teach young learners, normally we use modeled reading and shared reading techniques. So some techniques teachers can try to integrate when you teach stories to your students. Study the story, okay? Think about lots of the picture instead of just the text. Whether there are different voices or sounds you can use, props you can use, gestures and facial expressions you can use, repetition, okay? Where do you need to repeat, okay? So that your students can follow and take part in. And audience participation, this is the most important thing. If you want your students to really get involved in stories, okay? Design your questions and design the order of questions. All right, so above all, I believe we all love stories, okay? And this brings an end to my session today. I hope you enjoy the stories and also find what I have shared useful to your teaching. So now I think we can have our Q&A session. Q&A, any questions? Let me open my chat. Right, that's lovely. Yeah, it's a value thing, right? They will say, okay, then you can say you can be a hero together with the train. You help the train do more, the train doesn't need to do that much, right? When you sleep. Okay. Any other questions here?
I think there's a question in the Q&A box, Ms. Kelly.
Let me go to my Q&A here. Okay. How can reading story help children develop reading habits? Okay, I think it's like, it's again, step by step, right? So first it's more like you model reading, right? You show how you love reading, how you love everything in the stories. This can help make our students feel more interested, or they begin to build their love, okay, to reading. And then when you move to shared reading, so they can be more involved in reading stories, and step by step, of course, it's also when they like when you teach phonics, when you teach them more words, when they gain more, when their language level improves, okay, they feel more confident when they have their own stories, and they can recognize words, or they can kind of begin to use phonics skills to read more, so they will begin to have, yeah, the reading habit, okay, step by step. All right. Someone want me to go back to the guided reading slide. Okay, let me see if I can do that now. Here, okay. And okay, that's done. And how can we read story of children? That's done. 4 stages. Can we skip some stage depending on the classroom situation? So those stages, it's also about the age group, right? So when they are very, very young, think about that. You probably can't even do shared reading. You can only do modeled reading, because they don't have any the ability to answer, to give you any answer. They can only just copy what you do, follow what you do. So definitely that's for the very beginning and first stage. When your students begin to have some language competency, then you can begin to integrate more and more shared reading. And definitely for the other 2 stages, it's even higher, okay? So for guided reading, because then we need to introduce lots of reading strategies, reading skills, like how they can do skimming, how they can do scanning, how they can find out like a main idea or summarizing a story. So that's for even higher level. So these 4 stages, it's a development move, okay? But of course, between stages, there's no clear line between modeled reading and shared reading. There's no clear line between shared reading and guided reading. So they overlap between each other. So I think it's like it depends on your student's age, it depends on your student's language level, then you can decide, you can decide whether you will focus more on using modeled reading, or you can begin to integrate shared reading techniques. All right. Okay, thank you. Can you share some activities that can be used after reading the story? I mean, some production activities. There are definite lots. I think for almost all readers, either as a supplementary component to a main course, or if you just have some leveled readers, you can always find pre-reading, while reading, and after reading activities. But because this session we focus more on the delivery part, okay, as a teacher, if you tell the story, so what are the techniques you can use to make your storytelling more interesting, more engaging? I think for this, because it's not an easy question to be answered just in 1 minute, I think you can forward these questions to Walk, to VUS, and definitely we can probably just provide another way to support, to help you, okay, with these questions. All right. Some teachers refuse to teach kids, including storytelling. They say they can act or stuff, no talent. What do you think? You mean some teachers may think, oh, I'm not a good storyteller. What I can say is, I'm not a good storyteller, so that's why I share with you those techniques. I think it's the same, okay? Practice makes perfect. So I also practice. I also like prepare, when I prepare this session, when I have these two stories in front of me, I also try to think about, okay, what can I do? So whether, how can I do the rhythm? So that's why I think about the clap, tap thing. And also, are there any sounds I can use? Any different facial expressions you can use? All I can suggest is there's no talent thing, okay? So everybody can, develop this potential. Who knows, you may find after several practice, you may begin to realize, okay, I am a good storyteller. So just practice more. Okay. Do you think we need to answer more questions, because there are so many in the Q&A and also in the chat? So I would say, so Walk, maybe you can help collect all these questions, and we can send out follow-up emails with answers to these questions. Or do you still want me to answer more? We are already 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think we have time for 1 or 2 more questions.
2 more questions. Let me pick some questions here. Up to, just seeing one and it's gone. Yeah, because they scroll up. I think there is a question about up to what age can these techniques be used. Okay, it's gone, but that's the question I saw. So the techniques I shared with you are mainly for, as I mentioned, for modeled reading and shared reading. I would say they will work, well, modeled reading, especially for very young learners, I would say, like from when they start to learn English, like 3 years old to 6 or 7 years old. Then those techniques, especially about asking questions, how you involve your students into the stories, mainly for shared reading, would be to young learners. That's about 6 to 12 years old. Okay. Yeah, I answered that question.
I think there's questions that many attendees are asking.
Yes.
Do you know any websites we can use to find interesting stories?
There are lots, actually, like I can, for example, because I think for English language learners, okay, still it's different from native speakers. Okay, the stories we use to native speakers are still a little bit different from the stories we use to language learners. The stories we normally use for language learners still has the language aspect in it. You can still find they control the language. So almost all readers programs. So for example, like Oxford Reading Trees, probably everybody knows, right? Like Scholastic readers, and for example, like National Geographic Learning's PM readers, they are all very scientifically and systematically controlled and leveled. So those are all good readers, good stories that you can use to teach your students.
Thanks, Katie. I don't think we have enough time to answer all these questions.
Right.
Those are very interesting questions.
Yeah.
So do you think, is it okay if they can send you the questions like by email or something?
Yes.
So you can answer them.
So I think you can see my email address on the screen now. Okay, kitty.zhang@cengage.com. So if you have more questions on teaching stories, especially, okay, or other questions about teaching young learners, you can definitely send me questions. I will try to answer them. All right, so I think that's all for today's session. I just want to say thank you again for joining this session, and I enjoy this this session a lot. So, and thank you for your participation. All right.
Okay, thanks, Miss Katie. And
thank you.
Yeah, that was a very interesting and helpful presentation to the teachers. So for teachers, we hope that you enjoy our webinar today and will be able to apply the ideas to your teaching practice.
VUS, your English, your future.